All right, let's now shift our attention to what is happening in Pakistan, where the Pakistani journalists are continuing with their protest against a new law that's been brought in by their government that criminalizes what is termed by the government as online disinformation. The Federal Union of Journalists is observing a black day against a proposed government bill that seeks to amend the Prevention of Electronic Crimes Act 2016. And this is what the Pakistani journalists are doing. They're out on the streets and they've called for a sit-in in front of the Parliament House, demanding for a repeal of what they are describing as a clear black law. The journalists held demonstrations across the country wearing black armbands while covering the events. Now, union offices and press clubs have also been draped in black as a symbol of resistance by the journalists. Now, the Pakistani journalists have called this proposed government amendment to the law as a ruse to crack down on any dissenting opinions. The National Assembly reportedly rushed through the legislation with little warning last week before it was approved by the Senate on Tuesday. The legislation lays down punishments of up to 3 years in prison for anyone that the government deems is spreading fake news. Now, this new Pakistani proposed law says that anyone who intentionally spreads, displays or transmits false information which intends to cause fear, panic or unrest in the society may face up to 3 years in prison, a fine of over $23,000. Now, the Senate Standing Committee has said that the bill primarily seeks to modernize the legislative framework for combating cybercrimes in Pakistan. Now, the Interior Secretary has also emphasized that the bill is written in good faith and it aims to protect the general public. Now, WION's Anas Malik has been tracking the story very closely for us and has sent us this report from Islamabad in Pakistan. Listen in.
Journalists in Islamabad have been protesting against the draconian legislations under the Prevention of Electronic Crimes Act, the PICA Act, that have been introduced by the government, which broadly talks about criminalizing quote-unquote fake news without going into the definition of fake news. It also is increasing at stifling dissent, freedom of speech and freedom of press, and largely the journalists all across the country today have been staging protest demonstrations like these in a bid to urge the government to reverse the draconian legislation that have recently been passed, and they have also urged the government to consult the journalists before introducing such legislations. Anas Malik in Islamabad, Pakistan for WION World is One.